For the run that 2020's been on, has come to as no surprise.
Yeah, that's the feeling for some in Mobile. A lot of uncertainty, and the long wait for results may have been expected for some. We've got reaction coming up.
Also, a brand new advisory just dropping from the National Hurricane Center on Eta. Of the full look and the breakdown coming up.
And the Blues buzz the beach as a final salute to fans this year. We're going to tell you about the changes they're going to be making to get ready for next season.
First, with breaking news and breaking weather on the Gulf Coast, this is Fox 10 News at 9 p.m. Committed to you.
And thanks for choosing Fox 10 News at 9, everybody. I'm Byron Day.
And I'm Shelby Myers, in tonight for Lenise Lagon.
First from us at 9, we still don't know who the next president of the United States will be, although Joe Biden is much closer to the White House tonight. Meanwhile, President Trump needs 4 states still in play to be reelected.
Biden is just 6 electoral votes away from the 270 needed for victory, but he has a less than 1% lead over the president in Nevada. That state's 6 votes would make him the winner, but President Trump has slim leads in Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania, so Nevada is key for him too.
The former vice president stopped short of declaring himself the winner during a speech today, but he did say he's cautiously optimistic.
And now, after a long night of counting, it's clear that we're winning enough states to reach 270 electoral votes needed to win the presidency. I'm not here to declare that we've won, but I am here to report that when the count is finished, we believe we will be the winners.
Election officials say it could be days before all the mail-in votes are counted, especially since many states have given extra time for ballots to arrive as long as they were postmarked by Election Day.
Well, the president's team is already filing lawsuits. One in Pennsylvania claiming Democrats are hiding ballot counting from Republican vote watchers there.
And now they won't.
Both camps have battled hard for a win in PA this election. The Trump campaign insists poll watchers have been denied access.
And now they won't let, and we brought one great gentleman here with us today, Jeremy, who's a poll watcher down at the convention center. They won't even let him watch as they count the ballots. They put them behind a fence.
Well, 4 years ago, President Trump won Pennsylvania by less than a percentage point over Hillary Clinton. At that time, he was the first Republican to win that state in 28 years.
Here in Alabama, people are on the edge of their seats awaiting their final tally for the presidential race.
We have team coverage on both sides of the bay. Our Tyler Finger joining us in Mobile and Michael Warwick in Baldwin County.
So we'll start with Tyler. Tyler, you spoke to people about all the uncertainty surrounding this election.
Yeah, hey, good evening, Shelby. That's right. A record number of people cast ballots in Mobile. While Alabama has been decided, people here in the port city are waiting on some crucial battleground states to know who will be president come Inauguration Day.
The fact that it's taking so long, everyone's on pins and needles.
Over 24 hours after the last ballot was cast in Mobile, tonight we're seemingly no closer to knowing who won the presidential election.
We're all just kind of watching the TV, watching our phone. I'm constantly refreshing my phone.
The pins and needles that everybody's on, it builds the tension in the community.
Mobile County voters nearly split on the presidential vote. 55% for President Donald Trump, 43% for former Vice President Joe Biden. Allison Oren hopes the final result is accepted.
A person that wins should win, and there shouldn't be an endless litigation process over that.
With the presidential race still up for grabs, some hope it's an opportunity to come together.
I'm hoping that moving forward from 2020 that people are more willing to reach across the aisle and listen to what the other side has to say.
Whoever wins, I have no control over that at this point, so I just hope that it creates more unity than division.
Tonight, as the counting continues in several crucial states, it's anyone's guess when we'll have an answer.
For the run that 2020's been on, has come to as no surprise. No, it just fits in for par for the course.
The biggest hurdle with this election has really been the early votes that were cast before Election Day. Those are still being counted in places from coast to coast. We're live in Mobile tonight. Tyler Finger, Fox 10 News.
All right, Tyler, thank you. The night after a wild election day that is still missing closure at the top of the food chain, the Navy Blue Angels buzzed the beaches today, giving some anxious Americans who showed up a chance to take a breather, even if it was just for a few minutes. Baldwin County reporter Michael Warwick talking to voters on the beach in Gulf Shores. Michael, what did they have to say about how things are going so far?
Well, Shelby, Baldwin County's historic voter turnout was about what we'd expect. About 80% of the vote in the county going for President Trump. But on the beach today, a little bit of everyone taking the day after Election Day to get away. It only lasted a minute, but it was a moment to think of something else.
I was very anxious when I got up this morning, hoping to see results from the election.
As this presidential election remains up in the air.
America is still the greatest place in the world to live, and this just represents what we are.
It just seems like, yeah, everybody was glued to their TVs last night, half of them, myself included, today, and it was just that, again, that good break. American exceptionalism at its best, which there's not a dang thing wrong with.
Republican, Democrat, or other, most beachgoers today left the politics at home.
Not thinking about it at all. And guess what? At the end of the day, we're all just friends, neighbors. Nobody's asking, oh, what party are you in? We don't care. This whole everyone against each other, nah.
But with so much still at stake, some Baldwin County residents just couldn't take their eyes off their party's main prize.
Well, we were talking politics the whole time because that's what we do. We're with South Baldwin Democrats, so it was just we wanted to get together and share some good feelings and hope that things will look better tonight and tomorrow and we can get through this.
So I haven't taken my eyes off of it the way it's leaning right now. I'm terrified for their future by it.
With everything going on with the election, it was a big day for the Blues. It was the reason for their flyover today, transitioning from the FA-18 Legacy Hornets to the FA-18 Super Hornets after 34 years. That transition taking place tomorrow. Live in Gulf Shores, Michael Warwick, Fox 10 News.
All right, Michael, thanks very much. Looking now at the balance of power in the U.S. Senate. Races still too close to call in several of the key states. Democrats were hoping to flip some of those seats.
And right now, both sides need 3 more seats to retain their majority. One of Georgia's seats is going to a runoff, so we may not know if there's a clear winner until January.
Of course, Alabama voters doing their part to maintain the Senate majority, for now at least, electing Republican Tommy Tuberville to take over for incumbent Democratic Senator Doug Jones. The former Auburn football coach has promised to help keep up with President Trump's agenda, even if the president loses to Biden.
Clearly, it's very important in that regard. And that obviously has, major implications. Obviously we're still in the midst of counting ballots for the presidential election. But, for instance, if Biden is the one elected, having to go up against a Republican Senate is obviously going to make his job a lot harder.
By the way, Tuberville defended his campaign style, saying he wasn't a politician and felt communicating directly with the people was his path to victory. He was criticized by Jones and others during the campaign for avoiding debate and the news media, some describing the strategy of the former football coach as, quote, running out the clock.
And in the House of Representatives, Democrats are expected to retain their majority. Right now, 203 Democrats hold seats, while Republicans have 188. Still more votes to be counted and more races to be called. To have a full majority, a party needs 218 seats.
Of course, you can count on Fox 10 News for the most complete election coverage. Stay with us on air, online, and across all of our social media platforms to stay informed about the latest results.
A murder suspect arrested in Georgia is now in Mobile Metro Jail. Demetrius Dirk Anderson was booked just before noon today. Mobile police say he's connected to the shooting death of 42-year-old Tito Smith at Fat Tuesday's Sports Bar on St. Stephen's in April of 2019. Anderson was captured 3 months later in Atlanta.
Well, people in Nicaragua and other parts of Central America just now trying to dig out from the fury of Hurricane Eta. The powerful storm spreading devastation and destruction throughout the area as a Category 4 hurricane when it made landfall. Flooding and landslides still major issues there. Meteorologist Jen Lambert is in for Jason right now. She's joining us. And Jennifer, Eta is working its way possibly to South Florida?
Yes, Byron, with that latest track from the National Hurricane Center, Florida is potentially in that cone of uncertainty. But checking in on Eta right now, tropical depression at this latest advisory at 9 p.m. So those winds are just estimated. There's no way for the National Hurricane Center to track those conditions inside where that circulation is. So this is just an estimate for those wind speeds, significantly weaker as it is moving over Honduras right now. It is expected to reemerge back into the Caribbean, though, so this is a system that we do need to be keeping an eye on. It's still slowly moving west-northwest at 7 miles per hour, but soon it's going to start that hook just over Belize with a ridge of high pressure starting to move in and pushing it out of Central America. So this area is still going to be getting a lot of that rainfall with it, but it will start to move out, reemerge into the Caribbean, and enter into favorable conditions. So coming up, I'll have a full look at the track on this system, plus also a breakdown some of the model guidance. Shelby.
Jen, thank you. We've got more coverage of the presidential election still ahead on Fox 10 News at 9.
Plus, more states are making marijuana legal, but Mississippi isn't quite ready to take that step. We'll explain.
And important races in both chambers of Congress. Democrats expected to keep the majority in the House, as we mentioned, but what about the Senate? We're going to have details later on Fox 10 News at 9.